Lee Elci Show. And now, here he is.
All right, everyone, welcome aboard. You are listening to, well, today it's a little different. You are listening, yes, to 94.9 News Now and Stimulating Talk. You're also listening to WDRC and all of their sister stations, including 103.3, 102.5 FM, 1360 AM. So all of the full power radio stations across the entire state of Connecticut are within the sound of my velvet voice. So all the way out there at Hartford and around, welcome aboard. Gary's not feeling all that great today. Our pal Ryan's pushing all the buttons up there, making it all go. We're doing it here as we normally do, and hopefully you guys will stay along for the entire show. We do have a busy one in store for you today. We'll have Senator Paul Formica. We'll have the chairman of the Republican Party, Ben Proto, joining me. Peter Lumage, who wants to, I guess, give a farewell sort of tour or a campaign recap at 9:05. Stephen Bucci from the Heritage Foundation. We will talk to United States Senate candidate Leora Levy a little bit later on. And every Monday morning, if you don't know this by now, I play back the conversation of the previous week. And those of you who missed it are going to want to listen up because it's a good one. The Colonel, Rob Simmons, will explain in his infinite wisdom what the whole Mar-a-Lago invasion was all about. So I hope you guys had a great weekend. You had fantastic weather. Hope you got out there and enjoyed it as best as you can. We do have a lot to get to. A lot of different things happening in the community. A lot of different things happening around the state. A lot of things hopefully you all can get involved with. But I was driving in and had one thing on my mind, changed it, decided to talk about something completely different, which is, I'm sure, what's on everybody's mind, which is this raid, and I say invasion of Mar-a-Lago with Donald Trump. So what has the Justice Department done? Like, what have they actually accomplished here? It's almost as if they're doing all of this on purpose to prop up the president. I know it's not that devious or diabolical, but man, doesn't it seem that way? Because they could not have handled this any more poorly. So now Trump wants his papers back. There's growing fallout over the raid. The FBI doesn't really, at least as far as what we know, doesn't really have much of anything, I think. The lawyers are back and forth fighting about it. It's a raid of home of a former president. It's unprecedented. Now, I read this interesting column over the weekend about how the powers that be desperately do not want Donald Trump to run for president. They are willing to mortgage everything to do it. So I started to think about that. Now, everybody who comes on who's a Trump fan seems to say, and let me rephrase that. Everybody who comes on who has some sort of inside knowledge on Donald Trump, whether it's friends of his or business associates, or last guy we had on was Dick Morris, who claims that he knows personally that Trump is going to run and that he has dirt on everybody. I say the same thing that I've said from the beginning. He's a 5-year-old man with $1 billion in the bank, an incredibly successful family. He's been the president of the United States. What is he holding back? Why would he hold back if he had information? What would be the purpose of that? Like, what would be the reason why, if you're the most powerful person in the free world, why you wouldn't officially and completely drain the swamp? So I don't believe that. That's a story that I don't necessarily believe. Like that he has the goods on people, and because he has the goods, he's going to unleash it in the second go around. I don't buy it. That doesn't fly with me. So I don't know what it is. Like, I want to think that it's for all the right reasons why the powers that be are trying to put the squeeze on Trump. But nobody's trustworthy. Nobody in government's trustworthy. You want to think that the January 6th commission is trying to ferret out information and deliver it to the public, but we know that's not true. We know that's a one-sided affair. And you want to think, let's say, that the voting mechanism is on the up and up. But we all question that now. Nobody believes that politicians aren't taking kickbacks. We've got a governor who tends to cede money to his wife's companies so that they can get even more fat and happy. When will it end? When will all of this, and shenanigans is too light of a word, when will it end? How will it end? We know that democracies, they don't last forever, right? We're an incredible experiment. This republic, born over 245 years ago, is an incredible experiment of immense success. We're the greatest country in the history of the planet, at least recorded history. And we've gotten here in 240 years. Think about that. I mean, China's thousands of years old, right? We've done it at lightning speed because, well, we have a formula that has worked for 240 years. I mean, it hasn't been perfect, but it's developed in all of us this sense of freedom and this ingenious ability to be who we want to be, make our life what we want to make it. You think someone born on the same day in China as you has that same opportunity? Of course not. Not even close. Or any other country do they have that same opportunity? No, just here. Now, there are other countries that claim to be free, but not with the economic engine that America brings to the table. Well, nobody can get to where they want to get to faster than being right here in this country. That's why people come here, right? That's why people migrate to the United States. Some people go to other free countries, and they go there because, well, the definition of freedom changes from country to country, because some folks will say, places in Europe are free, but they're ripe with socialistic ideals. I mean, some people like that. Some people want the quote unquote free health care. They like that idea. Or they give up 50, 60, 70% of their income, and that way if they stub their toe, they don't have to pay for it. And I get that. I understand that. If anybody's been racked with bills, you get the bill every other day from a different outlet as far as some kind of health care, you know how hard that is. It's tough. I get it. But this country has given people the best opportunity to make their life what they want to make it. And that's why this great experiment, I think, has been so successful. Now, fast forward to 2022, and the current administration has their sights on stripping away some of that freedom that you have. Don't you feel that? I can feel it. I do. I do feel that. Now, the previous administration, I honestly think that, at least policy-wise, they were heading us in the right direction. I know I'm talking to some new people today. I believe in America first. I believe in a sense of nationalism. Nationalism is not white nationalism. Just so we can get that straight, because sometimes people, they hear that and their heads explode. No, I believe in making the United States the primary beneficiary of whatever it is that we're doing here, and then we can help out the rest of the world in due time, which we do. We're the only ones that really do that. So, cleaning up the borders, holding crime in check, punishing criminals, building up the military. These are things that, to me, are common sense. Yet we have a group of individuals in this nation that don't want to do any of that. They want to do the exact opposite of that, which is remarkable to me. Like, why would you want to slit your own throat? Sorry for the visual. Why would you want to do that? What would be behind that? Is it a sinister scenario or stupidity? This is one of these great dilemmas that we talk about here on the radio often. I don't know the answer to this. I wish I did. right? I mean, are the representatives that we have in Washington, Dick Blumenthal and Murphy and Congressman Courtney and Larson and Hayes and Himes, are they just stupid, or are they diabolical with many of the, let's say, the plans that they want to push forward? I'm, some of these issues that we can debate. Again, this is another one of my pet peeves that always bothers me. There are obviously there are issues that we can have legitimate debates on, right? We can have legitimate debates on certain social issues. There's no question about that, right? And I know some folks believe that there's a hard line, right and wrong, with a topic like abortion, and I get that. But it's a debatable topic that we can fight about it. But there are certain issues, like issues of just common sense. Like, why would you not want to hold crime in check? What would be the reasoning behind that? Why would you want to let the southern border be flooded with illegals? Like, what good does that do the country? Now, some folks who want to argue against that position will say, well, it's cheap labor, blah, blah, blah. But still, it doesn't answer the question of why the way that it's set up now. Why would you do it that way, where it's just first come, first serve, whoever comes across is in, blah, 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 no checks and balances. We have no idea whether these folks are criminals or sick or terrorists. Nobody in their right mind would want to be for that. Why would they do it? I don't know. I think it's a legitimate question to ask, and one that should be asked by politicians running for office in November against current seated politicians. To me, that's what I think. Anyway, I don't know how I got here. I was talking about Trump, but eventually we seemingly always go back to the ills of what's gotten us to this place of the Great Divide, right? So we're in a situation where everybody seems to hate everybody else. Right? Nobody gets along in this country. Right? How many of you have played? I never do sports analogies, but because I try to stay away from that. But how many of you ever played on a team sport where you all have like one goal? You might hate each other. I played on teams where people hated each other, like they couldn't stand each other. But there was a goal to go out there and win every day. And some of those teams, even if they hated each other, they did really well. Well, I mean, it was much easier mentally to play on the teams where people got along. But this is a team that we hate each other, and now we're losing. All right. It's 24 minutes after the hour, 6 o'clock, just beginning. If you're just tuning in and you're listening from one of our sister stations up in Hartford and around, WDRC, Gary is not feeling all that great today. So my name is Lee Elci. I'm at the helm. Again, 94.9 is as always, and we do have a busy show. Rob Simmons will join me in just a couple minutes. One more time, Paul Formica, Ben Proto, Stephen Bucci from the Heritage Foundation, Peter Lamage, and Leora Levy are our guests today. All right, we'll take our very first break. We'll come back in just a couple minutes. Like I said, we have a lot to get to today. It's a Monday. I hope you guys all enjoyed your, wasn't a long weekend, but it was a weekend nonetheless, I believe, right? All right, let's go to a break. We'll all sing Thunder Road, all right? Like a vision, she dances across the board.